Content warning, mentions of heroin, alcohol, substance abuse, eating disorders, disordered eating, extreme diets. If you or someone you love is struggling with substance abuse or an eating disorder, please call the hotlines on the screen or use the information in the description.
And I told Lindy, I said, I drink Black Label every morning. This is like my heroin. And this is like a joint. It's like, this is the real drug right here, okay?
I'm Val. Thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. Whether it's your first time here or you've joined us before, thank you so much for supporting the channel and the anti-MLM message.
So today we are going to be talking about Kelsey Rae, who is a top pruvit representative and also has a large following on the socials. So we feel like these aren't the kinds of jokes you should be making to begin with, but especially when you have such a large audience watching what you're putting out there, you should be especially careful. And she's not. Let's get into it.
All right.
Do not.
Alright, so listen, y'all. We have Keto Kick. Keto Kick is amazing. I love Keto Kick, right? But like, I would not drink this as my full serving of ketones. Like, I would not drink this in the morning and be good all day. It's like a pick-me-up.
Another sales tactic to get you to buy more ketones. Oh, you can't just drink the pick-me-ups. No. Like, this is a pitch. She's just trying to get you to buy more by saying, oh, this isn't the only ketones that you should have throughout the day.
Even though Aaron Bees, with the help of the anti-MLM movement and funding, was able to test some of the pruvit products, and they had small amounts of lead in them, but it would be enough to be dangerous to a child. It would build up over time, especially if you're having as much as Kelsey Rae and Lindy and Courtney Shortney and all of these top reps are having.
Oh, but no, the tiny serving is not enough.
More lead.
More lead.
Editing robot here to point out this lawsuit against Pruvit from 2020 that was filed in California by the Environmental Research Center. The complaint alleges that Pruvit needs to warn consumers that they've been exposed to lead through their products. This document shown is the settlement document. This means the two parties decided to settle without going through a trial process. This legally does not constitute any guilt, but we find it interesting that Pruvit was willing to agree to some of these next stipulations as part of the settlement. Firstly, Pruvit agreed that if any product was to be sold in California above the specified lead amount, it would have to have a warning label on it, as shown here. We don't know for sure if this is being enforced or not. Secondly, the settlement states that Pruvit must arrange for lead testing of all products that were listed in the lawsuit at least once a year for a minimum of 3 years. The testing has to be done by an independent party and up to certain standards. Aaron's live stream was done around the 3-year marker, so one final test would have had to been done around that time. Again, we are not sure if Pruvit enforced this. Finally, Pruvit had to pay for several fees, mostly legal fees. The total costs were just shy of $800,000. Make of that what you will. Take into consideration that this isn't a legal declaration of guilt, but also the fact that Pruvit ended up paying nearly $1 million in a lawsuit regarding lead in their products.
It's like a pick-me-up. You drink these for like a pick-me-up. And I told Lindy, I said, I drink Black Label every morning. This is like my heroin. And this is like a joint. It's like, this is the real drug right here, okay?
Kelsey Rae, you are supposed to be a representative for a health and wellness company. These products that you're supposed to be selling are supposed to help people with their health problems, allegedly according to them, and give you a better quality of life. So why the hell would you compare them to vodka and heroin? I get it that it's like a little jokey joke, but it's uncomfortable.
I just feel like the only people that are allowed to compare and make jokes and do things like that with heroin are people who have had heroin addictions, who have been directly impacted by heroin addictions, Not to say that those people aren't allowed to crack a joke, because, you know, I've been in situations where I've heard those jokes before, but I'm not gonna tell them that they're not allowed to make that joke. But, Miss Ma'am, you just made a business pitch, and now you're comparing it to heroin.
And let's remember that if heroin use was a part of Kelsey Rae's story, that's probably something that she would have told us. Oh, I used to do heroin, and now I'm a multi-level marketing representative. So somebody might come in the comments and say, well, we don't know that for sure. But Kelsey likes to tell us about her life. So you'd think that she would talk about that, but she hasn't. And the reason why she hasn't is probably because she's not, and she's just trying to make like a little joke. Heroin's not funny. Alcohol abuse is not funny. Substance abuse is not funny.
The only jokes of those regard that I see as valid are jokes to cope and jokes from experience, which this is neither one of those things. I've known plenty of people in my time. I've heard many a heroin joke, but it was never like this. It was always like, well, I'm not going to repeat that online.
It was coming from a place of experience and not as a place of like, oh,
my product is like a drug. Like, no.
How many people have lost their lives to heroin, are continuing to lose their lives because of substance abuse? How many people are trying time and time again to get help?
Not only have people's lives been lost, people's lives have been altered. Because even if you get away from it, you might not get away unscathed.
So look, Kelsey might just say like, it's just a joke. It's just a joke. Well, one, it's not funny.
Like, do you see me laughing?
And two, your jokes shouldn't be punching down. And this doesn't feel like it does anything other than just like kind of laugh at substance use.
And I just feel like comparing the product that you're trying to sell to a highly addictive drug isn't a very good sales tactic, but I feel like she would know that if she were really trained in sales. But not even the great Jessie Lee was able to show her how to properly market this stuff, because that's not the point. The products are not the point of making money in these schemes.
If you really want to make money, you have to have a large audience and recruit them. And that's what Kelsey Rae has done. And the reason why she talks about the product is to get some interest to eventually recruit them. But okay, keep talking about substances.
Oh, but buckle in, folks, because she's about to say something else that's not cute.
But anyways, let's mix up some ketones because I'm hungry. I want to eat, but I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna eat with you, so it's fine. I'm not gonna eat bad either. I'm gonna eat probably one time today.
Once a day is not enough.
I don't care how big of a meal it is. Once a day is not enough.
Second of all, did you hear the other voice saying, "Oh, I'm not gonna eat either with you"? That was Lindy, who we've covered recently on this channel. If you want to go look at our live streams.
Okay, because this is just a hard conversation, because I am a person who has a hard time with hunger cues. My body gives me too many hunger cues. When people would tell me to listen to my body, I would overeat because my body is telling me to eat all the time. But also, I knew that about myself. You gotta eat intentionally. When your body is constantly telling you it's hungry, you have to eat intentionally. But especially for people who have problems with their body telling them that they're hungry, please listen to your body. I beg of you, please eat. Don't mix up some ketones and just pray it goes away.
And I'm somebody who doesn't get enough hunger cues. My body doesn't tell me that it's time to eat until like 5 p.m. And by then I'm like, oh my gosh, I should have eaten hours ago because I get exhausted really fast. It all hits me all at once. So if you are able to get those hunger cues and you maybe aren't having some of the issues that Gus and I have, you know, like just try to listen to them. Try to listen to them. And if you are having trouble, there are ways to eat regularly and eat intentionally, like Gus said. To just say, no, I'm not gonna eat, and to encourage your friend, no, don't eat, because I'm not going to either, that's not the solution.
Yeah, they're always getting each other to fast. They're just looking for excuses to not eat and get super skinny. It just seems like they're in that mindset all the time. People can have their own reasons for wanting to lose weight, but it just feels like they're constantly in that mode, which can't be healthy. If you're gonna diet, if you're gonna cut down on stuff for whatever reason, please do that safely and do that in a way where your body will still get the nutrients that it needs. Because it just seems like they're constantly like kicking it high gear as far as dieting goes. That just can't be healthy.
Lindy said on a live that we watched recently that she's been doing I think it's 2.5 3-day fast every month for the past 6 years. So it's constant. That has a really harmful effect on your relationship with food. And so I know people are scared of being fat. I understand. There's a lot of societal stigma. But at the end of the day, the kinds of health problems that are potentially going to happen because of you gaining a few pounds, so much minimal in comparison to if you destroy your relationship with food and your metabolism. So we're gonna wrap it up. The whole point is, Kelsey, stay in your lane. If you haven't dealt with stuff like this before, don't make these kind of jokes. And I don't think she would be making these kinds of just flagrant jokes if she did have some kind of experience with it. So stay in your lane. Don't punch down to stuff that you haven't been directly impacted by. And yeah, this example is drug use, but this happens with making jokes about gay people, trans people, black people. All kinds of marginalized people get turned into punching bags by people who are not in that group. And it's not okay. So let us make our jokes. I promise they're funny. It's stay in your lane and make your jokes about your little ketone life. How about that, Kelsey?
And also, just make sure you eat. Please don't just drink ketones to not be hungry anymore. More likely than not, if you are hungry, you should eat. If you have problems like me, nutritionists, you can get advice, and there are things you can do. Kelsey, you deserve to eat. I'm saying that directly to you, mama. You deserve to eat, okay?
3 meals a day.
I don't like you, but you deserve to eat. Everyone deserves to eat. I feel that way about the kids in Palestine that are eating just some
birdseed and limes and Swiss chard for dinner.
Yeah, the bread is made out of birdseed. So I think they deserve to eat. I think you deserve to eat. I think everyone deserves to eat when they are hungry. A point that Val made before was it's a privilege to diet. To diet means that you have the privilege to cut food out of your life when some people don't even have enough food in their lives. So let's just stay in our lanes, let's check our privilege, and let's listen to ourselves, okay? Have a nice day. Thank you all so much for joining us. If you're able to give us a like, perhaps a follow, we have some resources in the description for some terrible things that are going on in the world right now. So if you could give that a look, that would be wonderful, and have a great day. Bye.